Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave with a deep dive show and tell of a recent acquisition that goes back over 15 years in my making history and well over 30 years in my personal history. In the annals of practical effects in films, I think one of the all-time great practical effects films is Terry Gilliam's 1985 film Brazil, starring Jonathan Pryce, Michael Palin, a host of other pythons. Robert De Niro plays a plumber. If you haven't seen Brazil, it is an absolute, vitally important American British masterpiece. Film masterpiece. It opened in 1985 and was exclusively at the 8th Street Playhouse in New York City, where I was a projectionist, and I projected Brazil for the full 6.5 months of its New York City theatrical run. I watched it at least once a day for 6.5 months. And also, I'll tell you, Brazil is a film that is so polarizing. First of all, we ran it for 6.5 months because it sold out every weekend, every show. Second of all, no matter how big or enthusiastic the crowd was, every single sold out show, someone would walk out in the middle of the film and raged. We got yelled at by so many customers, angry at what they saw as the politics of Brazil. What you see in the politics of Brazil is a reflection of your own mind. But in the movie, so it's so many amazing practical effects. When you watch it, understand there's not a composite shot in the whole thing. There are some matte paintings, absolutely. But the Sam Lowry flying around with wings is actually a practical puppet. It is worth going and reading the original Cinefex about how they made Brazil, because it's even more astounding when you know how they did all the effects to watch that movie and see how well they land on camera. In the film, Michael Palin, well, famously, Robert De Niro has a small role in the film, and Gilliam called him up and sent him the script and said, you can play any role you want. And Robert De Niro said, I want to play Jack Lint. And Terry Gilliam apparently was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but Michael Palin has already taken that role. And for obvious reasons, Michael Palin gets first pick. So Robert De Niro chose the role of Harry Tuttle, the warrior rebel plumber. If this all sounds bizarre, it's because the movie is. But Michael Palin plays Jack Lint, a high-level functionary within the world who is also a torturing bastard. And when he is a torturing bastard, he wears a white lab coat and a freaky, freaky baby mask. And the baby mask from Brazil, as you can see, is something I have collected more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times even. This, I think, was the very first casting I picked up from someone selling from a small run on the Replica Props Forum. This, I think, was the same thing a few years later. This was an eBay purchase a few years after that. And this is now, at this point, at this purchase, I believe this is like 2009, 2010, so 13 years ago. And then recently, because I never stop looking for the stuff that I'm interested in, I put Brazil into my search field for Etsy, and I came across this bit of magnificence. Now, this is how the masks look in the actual film. You can see that this polyester version is doing some of the same kind of cracking weathering. And in fact, I had 2 of this casting and actually did a weathering effect on one of them. I gave that one to John Landis as a present. We walked the floor of San Diego Comic-Con together in a pair of these. But recently on Etsy, I found this one, pre-weathered, with the better weathering job than I think I could do on this mask. The cracks look genuinely like cracks. They really sell. We'll link to the Etsy store in the description. And they did a really lovely job with the strapping and the leather, as this one did as well. 2 very different executions. I really love how all of the aspects of this fit really well, and it fits me really well. Like, I can wear it in my glasses. Isn't this freaky? Dude, Brazil is a movie you have to watch if you haven't seen. Just imagine this is a torturer. But this one came with a letter. And I didn't reach out and ask for a discount or anything, or even announce who I was. I just said, I just literally purchased this. And then with it came this handwritten note from Nick Ketman at Modulus Props. Hello, Adam. I'm a huge fan of Tested and have been watching since you first joined. I owe a lot of what I do as a prop maker to your build videos. I just wanted to say thank you for doing what you do and for all the inspiration you've given to makers like me. Nick, this is really, really lovely. I want to tell you how deep this rabbit hole goes, because in the film, Michael Palin wears a doctoral tunic, but it's like a very old doctoral tunic, the kind that double-breasted and buttons up the shoulder. And I went and I found a version of that, that worked. And I even went so far as to blood stain it. Jamie's old shop assistant, Chris Rocha, I actually asked Chris to put this on, and then I put red acrylic all over my hands and I clutched at him as if I was dying to make it look really gross. And again, this was just an execution attempt. But what I did with this, in terms of the blood, but the material here is just this, it's cotton, it's a little bit lightweight, it doesn't feel authentic to me. So I had it rebuilt. I just went to my tailor at the time, and again, this is 13 years ago, and I said, can you make me this in this heavy cotton duck? And they did. And this was the very first costume piece I ever showed to Deborah Nadoolman-Landis, my friend now, who designed the Thriller costume, designed Indiana Jones's costume, so many other iconic pieces of film history designed by Deborah. And she looked at this, and she looked at it, and she inspected it, and she said, you are a wonderful costumer. Still one of the great sentences I have ever heard in my life. All of this is the longest way of saying you may see a baby at a con this year, and it's likely to be me. I think I'm going to wear I think I'm going to wear this guy out this year on one of my incognito walks. I'm a completist. Whenever I'm interested in a thing, I want all the things around that thing. And sometimes my completionism leads me to want every execution of a thing. And clearly the Brazil baby mask is one. I even went farther. At one point, my wife and I did a paper mache day, and I actually did a paper mache of this baby mask in craft paper just to have another one. Yeah. If there's another baby mask out there in the world, I'll probably go get that one too. Thank you guys for joining me for this not so quick show and tell, and I will see you next time and out on the con floor. Your tailor really is qualified to replicate pieces of clothing that you like, and it is completely worth asking them about it, because sometimes you can have something rebuilt for way less than you could go find it new, honestly. I mean, just it depends on the piece, but tailoring is a refined and really deep and incredible art form. I'm a big believer in just having all your stuff slightly tailored to you. It just looks better. Ooh, hold on. I love these old cuts too. This old sort of double-breasted doctor cut. Oh, I'm covering over my microphone. Ah, got it. Is that the last button? I was, what's in here? Oh! This is me making sure all the costumes have all the things. This is a Ministry of Information pin made by fans of the movie, and I think it went right here on the pocket in the real one. And here it is. I put it in the pocket, so when I wear this, oh, it's great. Come towards the camera. They're coming towards the camera with the thing. Where is it? Here we go. Yes. Oh, that's it. Yes, coming towards the camera with the thing. Oh. I can't thank you enough for supporting us by watching the channel. If you've been to our merch store, you might want to head there again because we are always updating our roster with new products. Here is the anime-inspired Tested logo in Japanese, one of my all-time favorite new designs. We're also selling Tested mugs and Tested hats. Oh, and if you want a cup of tea, we're selling that too.
Tested-store.com.
Tested-store.com.